would like to do an annual International Women's Day podcast.
Oh, yes. I cannot wait. This is our first inaugural one.
It is. It is. I'm really excited. I have two ladies behind me in my pictures. One is my mother in her wedding dress with my father. Probably hard to see unless you're watching YouTube, of course. And the other one is my grandma Shore. Somebody else I'd like to talk about is my grandma Hagen, and then my stepmom, Cindy McGinnis. And they are all exceptional ladies, very strong-willed, very independent, and they taught me how to be independent and the woman that I am today.
They're amazing people. I've only got to meet one of them, though.
Yeah. What about just really strong women in your life, Ashley?
Oh, gosh. 1 second. Let me think about this. Obviously, my mom. She is we had her on the podcast. And so she's been a huge just proponent of me, just pushing me and to do the things that I want to do and love. And then also she was a great role model too, because when I was young, she was out there just following her dreams to become a teacher. And so that really instilled in me a sense of the fact that you can do anything. So it starts young, right?
It does start young.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about some of the previous guests that we've had on. Remarkable. I had to write it down, Ashley. This is how much some of the ladies have been just nailing it out there.
We have had some amazing guests. All right, go for it.
So recently, episode 25 was Lainey Dion, and she is a singer-songwriter. And actually, we were just messaging each other the other night because she has a pop single called Hey London, which from the podcast, everybody knows that's one of my favorite songs. I love that song. And she is a semi-finalist in the International Songwriting Competition.
That's a huge deal. I'm not on social media anymore, but Robyn messaged that to me the other day and I was like, no way. It's so awesome. That's a big deal. Name some of the guests that are on there to judge. I think Dua Lipa is on there as one of the judges.
I don't know who the judges are for the songwriting competition. I have no idea.
Dua Lipa is one of them. That's a major, everyone knows who Dua Lipa is. So
is this something that you're familiar with? You know who the judges are?
Yeah, I think it said in the message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And the woman that rules the world. Dr. Laura Pettler. Or the universe. Let me start that over. The woman that rules the universe, Dr. Laura Pettler, she was on episode 22 with John Harrington. I can't even begin to tell you how amazing this woman is. She is an expert on an Oxygen original series called Lover's Lane Murders. She is a cast member of the now Emmy award-winning cold case TV show CSI Atlanta.
I didn't know that.
She is an Emmy award-winning woman. Amazing.
There's nothing she can't do.
No, there's nothing she can't do. And there's a lot of other ladies that are also Emmy winners from that show. And Laura is doing a podcast tonight at the same time that we're recording this podcast for the LPA, International Forensics Institute. And it's a webinar series. This woman is amazing.
She's incredible. Like, she just is constantly turning out stuff.
She really is. The other thing that she does too is she also runs a Airbnb. The woman's constantly busy. I'm just thrilled that we actually had her on an episode because the woman's crazy busy.
I felt very honored.
Yes. Very cool.
Other than that, also we can't forget about Sam Remboldt.
Sam Remboldt is doing amazing with Fancy Sips.
I think when we first interviewed her, she had maybe it was just her.
Yeah, I believe so.
They have grown so much in this past year that I think she has 4 or 5 other instructors now. Something like that.
I think she does too.
It's incredible. Every time I was on their Instagram page, they're hiring a new position. They were booked out for months. So you go, girl.
Yeah. Vanessa Simonet, who was episode 10 for writing a book, she too is still writing books and moving forward. It's amazing the ladies that we've had on.
So did you do any research, Robyn, on International Women's Day?
I did do some research, not as much as I should have, though.
Mhm.
I am also doing a International Women's Speaking event on March the 8th, and that is with the trading group that I trade with, Real Life Traders. And
Mhm.
I will put the information in the podcast episode notes so anybody can join. And I will also put it on our webpage,
Mhm.
on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. So not only are we interviewing amazing women tonight,
Mhm.
had amazing ladies on our podcast,
Mhm.
I too am stepping out there, and our own Ashley Allen is stepping out there too
I don't even
with
know who you're referring to.
purchasing some property.
Oh yes, I'm so excited. I haven't found the one yet, but I have been on the lookout. I've viewed many properties at this point, and it's just one step closer to my dream. But yeah, I've got my funding ready. I've got my everything in place. I've got all my checklist ready. It's just a matter of waiting for the universe to bring me my property. So I'm so excited.
And it will.
I
And
anticipate it'll be this year.
I think it will.
Mhm.
In the last fun episode or update before our episode is that Ashley, Pam, and I are considering a new podcast.
Very fun. I don't know if we want to give any what would you like hints about it?
Do you?
I don't know, but just go back to what was the episode that we just did?
Manifesting.
Well, yeah, what was that, the one we just last did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want a hint, just go back one episode from this one and there's your little hint of what it would be about. But we'll just say that the stuff that we talked about in the last episode it's been monumental in our lives this year.
It really has.
Yeah, and so we just feel that everyone needs to know about it. So we'll stop there. We'll stop there.
Ashley, don't you love my hair?
I love it. It's looking particularly fluffy today.
Well, I have an amazing hairdresser. She is a lady, and her partner is a lady that helps her at the salon. And I love my hair. I've been going to see her for, gosh, I don't even remember how many years. She might remember. I certainly don't remember. And the reason that I'm so excited to have her on is because she is a woman-owned business, and this is the International Women's Day podcast. And I want to talk to her about how she got started, how she broke out from not really corporate America, but kind of corporate America, how she broke out, how she started her own business, what she needed to do, how she brought her partner on to join her in the business, and how they've survived through COVID. So I am beyond excited to bring on Malinda and Marihia, Infinity Salon. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. We're excited to be here.
How are you ladies today?
Great. Fantastic.
You're looking beautiful. Your hair is amazing.
Putting us all to shame. I'm like, you have beautiful blonde hair. All three of
Very
you.
different colors. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the thing. So
It is the thing.
Melinda, I met you years ago
Years ago.
in a salon that you were working in. I would say it was a bigger salon in the Madison area,
Mhm.
Madison, Wisconsin. And the next thing I know, you were off on your own.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Tell us
Yeah.
about that. What made you switch from a larger salon to owning your own business?
Actually, we kind of were joking one day that we should open our own salon because she's my stepdaughter-in-law. And we're like, oh, but should family really work together? So we're kind of joking around. But then I was actually doing her hair. And she's like, well, I kind of want to go on my own. So I want to look around. And I was like, well, I'll come look with you. So she found a spot and we came in. And so we decided to come look at it, which is in Cross Plains. And we walked in and we're like, this is empty.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, should we do it? Like, and we went back and I was like, yes. And she's like, well, and I'm like, oh no, we're doing it. And so we kind of pushed each other. She was like more of the, she's the more laid back, like, let me do research, do this. And I'm more like, we're doing it. I like to just go for it.
I need a week.
Yeah.
She's like, no,
we're doing it. So yeah, that's how we started. And we've been doing great. So we balance each other out. So it's great.
You do. I think Ashley and I do a really great job of that as well, balancing each other out.
Yeah.
How did you even know what forms you needed to fill out, or how did you know how to even start a business? Is it a corporation? Is it an LLC?
And Google can tell you anything pretty much now, but I know I have so many friends in the business, and just getting to like asking around, like,
well, you rented a chair,
and I did rent a chair, so I already knew some of the ins and outs. And so my owner of the building that I rented at, she was very helpful, gave me ideas on what to do and how to start. And then we kind of just, hey, you do this, I'll do this, and that's how we figured it out. And but I mean, you Google a lot of stuff, and you can call and ask the department, like what the cosmetology, what license you need. And even the business, the people that own the building, they knew a lot too, like what we needed to do. So everybody is very helpful.
Yeah.
So
because we literally, I think you did my hair in September, late September, October, looked at the building, and within like a week or two, we signed the papers and we opened it in November.
Yeah.
So everything was just boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
While we were both still working full time and trying to open this, and it was a lot. It was crazy, but we did it.
How did you overcome any nagging feelings of, maybe this is the wrong choice or anything? Because I know for many people who want to, many people, they have that voice in the back of their head where maybe they want to follow their passions, but they're like, oh, there's so many steps. How did you overcome that?
For me, I guess I just put my trust in Malinda, because she's like, everything will be fine, everything will work out. And I just put my trust in her. I'm like, well, I'm going to do this. Like, at least I have somebody that can like help guide me through this. I guess just trusting your gut instinct. I'm a big believer on trusting your gut and feeling what's in your body. And so I was like, all right, well, if I want to be on my own, this is, how it's going to be. And so we just did the best we could to open with the knowledge that we had, and just put trust in each other to open it up. So,
and you got to think positive. If you think negative and all the negative thoughts, you're not going to make it. You got to think like, we're going to succeed. I have no worries. And you just got to put your mind to it. And then you hang around with people that are positive and that have succeeded, and you ask them. So that helps.
Were you concerned at all about a customer base going out on your own? Did you have a non-compete?
Well, because new to Cross Plains, we didn't know anybody. I mean, the owners, like that we would be the only salon in town. So we knew like, well, they want a salon in town. And you worked in Richmond Center and I worked in Madison. So it's not that far. It was a big step. It was a big scary, like, oh, are people going to follow us? Would we have new people? I mean, that's where she was more worried. And I'm like, if not, we'll get another job if we need to. But like, you know what I mean? Like we're people. And so we just talk to a lot of people. We know how to talk to people. Yeah. Just go out. You gotta sell yourself, like people come to a salon to enjoy themselves. It's not necessarily, you could be not the greatest at hair, but if they like you, you got to teach your stylist how you want your hair. So, and then some people like suggestions. So you got to be good that way too, like an artist. So
yeah, I didn't have a non-compete. I worked for JCPenney. So, and I worked in Madison for a short time. So I didn't have a non-compete. I don't think
I didn't either. Yeah. Cause I already rented.
Yeah. So you were already your own entity.
Yeah.
That's awesome. For the longest time, I think I only learned maybe 3 or 4 years ago that was a thing where you could rent your own chair and then at a salon or something. So yeah, it's like you already kind of had the building blocks of being your own person. You just needed that one more step to be fully on your own. So that's a good cue up to kind of where you are now.
Yeah. And I worked in a salon where the owner was just a go-getter. And I watched her go from I mean, I worked in there for about almost 10 years and I watched her like go from, smaller and then just kept growing and growing and growing. And she just was a good person to watch grow. And she always was positive, always. Oh, you got to do it. You can do it. You can do it. And she never like ever tried to make you just settle. She's always was just trying to push you to do better. So that's what I liked about her. And that's what we want to do, is we want to keep growing too.
And you are starting to grow. Let's talk about COVID hit.
Yeah.
The other thing that just amazes me about the two of you ladies is that you didn't let COVID get you down. It was a really hard time. And I know that you guys had to close, just like so many others around the United States had to close, in the world really had to close down. I never heard any complaining from either one of you. And I wanted to come in one of the first reopenings. I wanted to come in, Malinda, to see you so bad.
Oh, yes.
And then you're like, no, Robyn, you have to wait. Oh, because here in Wisconsin, or the county, I don't remember quite which one it was. I was 3 days ahead of when you guys were going to open. And then, or actually, I think how it started was I was okay to come into the salon. I was one of the first days to come into the salon. However, then they put a change in it, and then I had to wait for another month, or I don't remember how exactly it went. I was just devastated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they changed it.
But you guys were really positive through the whole thing. And then when you were able to reopen, I didn't hear one negative word about COVID. How did you guys do that? How did you get through COVID?
You want a real answer? Alcohol? No, I was kidding. No, I mean, well, we're just busy. We hate not being busy. Yeah. So like, I'm like, what are we gonna do? So we were ready. Like, we would come to the salon and clean it. Nobody was in here. Like, I'm just gonna go clean.
Well, we did curbside pickup.
Curbside pickup. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did it what 3 or 4 times on a Friday. We'd have clients call and we would run products out to their cars, so that way they didn't have to come in the building. That way clients still had their products while we were shut down. So a lot of them liked it. And plus then they got to see us and chit chat while we were closed for 9.5 weeks. So it was like a little social thing too, while they got to pick up their products too. So that was fun.
9.5 weeks. That's brutal.
It was nerve wracking. I mean,
changing appointments and rechanging appointments.
Well, I mean, at the beginning, we thought it was just going to be like a week or 2 weeks. And then it's like, oh, it's just going to be a month. And then it just like, it was just unnerving to constantly watch the news and be like, when are we going to open? When are we going to open? So we're just like, well, we're just going with the flow is what it is. And did the curbside pickup, and then we're just itching to get back. And so we were so excited to finally open our doors back end of May, I think it was. So,
and people wanted us to open.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I mean, we didn't have any problems with, where people didn't want to come in.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
So that helped too.
I remember the first thing, one of the things I wanted the most during COVID was like just a haircut.
Yeah.
It was one of the first, it took forever for them to open up. And then if you already had an appointment booked and it was right before reopening, then you had to reschedule. And I just remember I could not get an appointment. And like you said, Robyn, like it was impossible to get an appointment, but it definitely, the curbside pickup and the keeping the positive attitude and going with the flow, I think that really speaks to your guys' resiliency, because I hear so many people complain about COVID, and I get it. It's really just annoying for all of us. I mean, take all of the stuff.
The emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. Like none of us want to be in this situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And so keeping a positive mindset is so important. And then, like you said, going with the flow. So many people are, I think, trying to fight it in a way too, where they're just, they complain so I think that really speaks to just how awesome you guys are to just stick with it and just come up with outside of the box ideas and keeping up with your curbside pickup and just figuring out other ways to keep the business going instead of just saying, oh, we can't do it.
Right.
We try to see what people wanted to do. Because some people were like, are you guys masking? Some people are like, I'm not wearing a mask. And, this is before they, made everybody wear masks. So it's like, well, let's just do what everybody feels comfortable with. If you walk in the door and you don't feel comfortable wearing a mask, I'll wear a mask. But, this is before, this is right at the beginning, the mandate. Yeah. And then it was like, once it mandated, it's like, I'll have a couple of clients, like, if you don't feel comfortable wearing a mask, I'll come alone. I'll wear my mask. You come alone. Nobody will be in here. Like if you have breathing issues or something like that. So we're very accommodating that way, where we just want everybody to feel comfortable. So, but nobody gives us a hard time at all. I mean, everybody wears a mask. That comes,
Everyone's been so nice during this. We've heard so many like other stories of other businesses or salons that people are so hard on them for not wearing masks or wearing masks. And
Right.
our clients have been so fantastic. Like, I don't know, we are blessed with so many amazing people that come to the salon. Like, we love it here, and people are so sweet and so supportive. I guess that was the one like huge eye opener. Because everyone was just like, oh my God, I'm so glad you guys are so busy after opening up from COVID, because we were so worried that you would shut down, because so many businesses have, and they're just like, we're so glad you're busy. So we just want to see you guys, thrive. And so it's just very heartwarming to hear those words from our clients. So
for sure.
I think positive just attract positivity though. So it's it comes back to you. And if you just keep going, I feel like the people want to stick around because you probably you add value to their life by just, being the people that you are. So.
And it also helps that it's almost normal to go to the salon. I mean, for so many ladies, it's normal, and gentlemen, to go to the barber, or you have a lot of gentlemen clients as well, just to go to the salon. And I would wear a mask. I'm one of their clients that would say, do you want me to wear a mask? And then it was like, nope, I need to wear a mask. And then you feel kind of weird because I've never been away from Malinda. It felt like a barrier to wear them. And then I felt like, oh my gosh, but I'm so close to Malinda. I've been with her for so many years now. And yes, I did take the drive out to Cross Plains from far east side. That's how much I love Malinda.
Yeah, we miss the hugs. Like, you can't even hug anybody. That's the heart. Like, we hug clients. Like,
I miss seeing my clients' faces and the smiles and the emotions, and like to see people light up when they get a big transformation. Like, you can see it in their eyes, of course, still, but like, I don't know, I'm just such a huge like facial expression reader, and like reading people's bodies. Like, you miss the smiles
for sure.
So
yeah,
I can't wait till the mask mandate's over. Hopefully sometime in the summer or something.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'll be nice. The last time that I was in to get my beautiful color, which according to my roots, it looks like I need another one. You guys were growing. You have a nail lady, and then you have another chair that's rented. Tell us about the growth that you guys are going through.
Well, we always said that we wanted to get somebody in here, but we just needed the right person. And I used to work with Annette years ago. And so I know her personally. And, it's on a trial basis to see if like we all click in the same, if we, because we're far enough apart, but we still can hear each other's conversations sometimes. Just want to make sure it's the right fit for us. And we're still kind of going through that to see like, we ask customers and like, oh, what do you think? Because everybody's opinion doesn't matter, because people do like it here. So we just want them to continue and make sure she does quality hair. Because when you don't work with somebody and we've been, successful, you want to stay successful. So if like you give, but sometimes you just don't want a bad review, and anybody can give a bad haircut, you know what I mean? But we just want to make sure we continue growing and good positive feedback. So, yeah.
What kind of advice would you give a younger, well, I guess not even a younger person, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who wanted to start their own business, and some of the lessons learned that you two have had?
I would just say about your one client that said you don't make very much, and then you could. Remember her?
Well, I guess it's more business. So,
well,
like a stylist that wants to like go out on their own. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess to make sure you have either a clientele or a lot of people, and you have a really good like social media and advertising. I think social media alone, it really builds up, everything for your business.
What social media platforms are you guys on?
Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
And Snap. You can do Snap. You can do, there's so much you can do. Like,
I'm pretty consistent on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. I don't know. And I guess just be a genuine person, like just really care for your clients. And I think a lot of stylists get caught up in the hustle and bustle and they forget about actually like caring for their clients sometimes, and to really listen. I think that's another really big key factor to being a really good stylist and business owner, is to listen.
Make it a career and not a job.
That's a huge thing too, because I never like until I came to Nashville, I'd gone through a few stylists and just finding one when I moved up here, and there were a few that they did good hair, but I would move from person to person, and it wasn't until I found my girl now, Victoria, where it's like I truly like you said, she's genuine, she listens, and every time I go and see her, she asks me about what I talked about last time, like she remembers. And that was the thing that pushed me over, because I was like, all the other girls did great hair, but they didn't connect with me as a person. And I can see that with you. You guys care about your clients. And that makes a huge difference, because we all just want to be heard.
Absolutely.
So
I would say that's one of the biggest complaints that I hear from new clients that come in. They're just like, my stylist just doesn't listen. Like I tell her what I want and she just never listens. So I want to get a new, fresh perspective. And that's why I'm here. And I'm like, I'm really sorry you had that experience with somebody else, but I'm glad you're in my chair, because I'll totally like listen to all your like hair problems, and we want to give you the best hair that you deserve. So yeah.
And be a good person, like be on time, look the part, like do your research, know what's out there.
Education.
Education. Sure. That's what I say. And don't settle like what you think you can make. You can always make more. You know what I mean? You always gotta like, that's what I was kind of trying to say to her. Like this young girl came in and thought you only can make a certain amount of money. And we're like, oh no, you can make a lot of money. You just got to put your heart into it. And it's not a job, it's a career. If you want to do it, don't make it a job, make it a career.
I think that's great advice. Ashley and I actually connected right away because we both loved our jobs. And it was something that I don't look at my job, my full-time job is a job. I don't look at the podcast as a job. I look at both of them, and in stock trading, as I just love it. They're all three careers. They're things that I love to do, and it makes a world of difference. I really
absolutely.
I think when you change the job just has it's a connotation that we've just put into society, where it's like, oh, I have to go to my job. And because we love our careers like now, and I don't even necessarily consider it a career. It's just like a passion at this point. Like I just
there you go, passion.
Like it's just I love going love doing that stuff, because it's I mean, career still works. It's a great as well, but it's just when you love what you do, and but also stay positive about it, it's easy to get excited and want to go to work per se. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Looking back on your journey, is there anything that you would do differently, or would you do pretty much everything the same?
I would definitely, well, you know me, I've done several different things in which I have experienced a lot of different, but like you said, you find your passion and you go for it. So I guess I was just kind of finding my way, where before I was like doing a job, but I didn't love it. So I'm like, well, and that's what I like about Marihia, is like, she has the passion. She's always had the passion. So you find people that have the passion, you're like, oh, this is why I like doing it, versus somebody that just doesn't care, they just do it, So looking back, I would probably have done this sooner. I would have probably opened a salon sooner. No regret. I mean, I loved everybody I worked with, in the past. But.
Marihia, what would you have done differently?
I'm a big believer in like everything happens for a reason, and like divine timing. And I guess for me, I was in Richland Center, JCPenney for 6.5 years, and they closed in 2017. And that's what pushed me to Madison at Westtown JCPenney. And I disliked it. It just wasn't for me. And I think if JCPenney wouldn't have closed, I probably would still be there. I needed that push to push me.
I was trying to push her for 10 years.
I know. And I know. And that's the thing, is like, I like my comfort zone and I feel safe. And I guess I just wish I would have maybe jumped a little sooner, but it was all unknown to me. And at that time, it's not what I had wanted. But you don't know what you want. You know what I mean? You just don't know what you want at the time sometimes. So it's like, until you do it, you're like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. So I guess I maybe would have wished we would have opened, maybe a little sooner, but everything happens for a reason, and the timing was right and everything, the ball rolled so nice for us to open this that it was like,
I just pushed her.
She pushed me
She was
off
on the edge
ledge.
and I'm like, go.
She literally pushed me off the edge to open a business. And I needed it at the time because I was so safe with my corporate salon job there. And just the unknown was so scary. And she was like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll all work out. And so.
Well, because I knew she was good.
Yeah.
Like when you know.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
Have you found that since now that you have pushed outside of that comfort zone, do you find it easier to do that now? Or is it still a little bit, I mean, we all, I see that smile.
I'm just,
She's safe.
I'm a thinker.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to sit and analyze my options. I look at the big picture. I look at, okay, what are things that could go wrong or go right? Or, I just like to play it safe. And so it's like, when it feels right to me, then I'll take the leap. But if everything in my body is just like, I just don't feel good about it, then I'm not going to jump into anything.
That's important though.
Yeah. I don't know. I analyze everything. I take big decisions just very seriously. I'm not willy-nilly with big decisions. And then when it comes to huge financial investments or just anything, I'm just cautious. So I'm probably cautious to a fault, but that's who I am.
And that's why we, balance each other out, because I'm more of a let's go, let's do it. And I do think about things, but I get on it, I don't like to waste any time. Let's do it. If we're going to do it,
you're more impulsive.
Yeah. Hey, well, and I feel like it's just because, no, if I'm nothing against her, but she's a small town. She's still young. I'm old. I've experienced a lot of things. I've been around a lot of people. I know a lot of people. So I just, when you go around, you've been to many places and so many people, that's what I'm just, telling her, just from our clients, you learn so much. So, and I've bartended, I've been around, you just know so many people. And so when you see people succeed, you just oh, you got that drive. And I just want her to have that, Marihia, you can do it. Cause I know she can do it. If I didn't think we could do it, I wouldn't push her. You know what I mean? I feel I know she's got, and I got her back and and she's got good family. You know what I mean? We got good values. So and she's a good worker. So of course I'm going to push her, So, and she's keeps me grounded a little bit. So, and same here, I talk a lot. She does, she's a little quieter. Robyn knows. Yeah.
I do. It is you guys do make a really great team.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.
For other people who are looking to, you mentioned it earlier that you want to find someone who matches that passion. What would you, suggest to someone who, just in business in general, doesn't have to be a stylist, but how do you look for that passion in someone else? Do you try to find someone who reminds you of you when you were that age, or just kind of, because I've heard that some people will find with people with passion or something, sometimes you can see it in other people and you're like, that reminds me of me when I was like that. How do you search for someone who you think would be a good match for a team or a partner?
Hard workers, what do they want it? Somebody that doesn't get up and do work hard, or just want to stay in bed, or they want to just work minimal or just to get by. I feel
I want to go above and beyond to learn anything and everything about the industry that they're in. I think with any industry, there's always so much to know. And I think you have to educate yourself. And I think if you're not willing to educate yourself, push beyond the limits and work hard, then it's you're not really going to succeed, you know?
And because you never stop learning. That's one thing. I don't care how good a stylist you are, you can always learn something from somebody else, a
Mhm.
stylist that just got out of school or a stylist that's been doing it for 30 years. So for sure.
I know that's your philosophy. We've talked a lot about learning, and I am a lifelong learner. Ashley is a learner, and that is something, Malinda, that you have always talked about is continual learning. And you'll say, oh, I went to this, or oh, I went to that, or oh, I saw this, or oh, I saw that. It is, yeah, I do. I completely agree. Education in any type of form and open-mindedness is always the key to success.
I feel like if you were to take all the entrepreneurs that we've had on our podcast, Robyn, and just put them in like a Venn diagram, I would say that the biggest overlap is the hunger for knowledge. Like, and it can be, like you said, about anything. It could be about anything. They want to know everything. They want to learn all aspects, and they're not spending their time. It's okay to lounge and like have your off time, but they're spending a lot of their time doing the things that a lot of people don't want to do. And a lot of that time it's learning or just perfecting your craft or practicing, or I don't know. I think that's a huge overlap that we're starting to see, is the learning aspect.
I think it is too. And you all know that a support system is super important to me. You have to have that support system because there are going to be times that you're going to sacrifice because you're doing your passion and because you're learning and you're growing. So you have to have a fantastic support system there in order to keep you grounded, number one, but number two, to let you enjoy your passion and grow.
Absolutely.
Psychology takes psychology, because you have so many personalities. And like, we are therapists. I hate it. We are.
You are. I've told my salon, I almost said therapist. I told my girls so many things.
Oh my God. Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, sometimes in the first 5 minutes, we'll learn somebody's life. Yeah.
it's awesome. It is. Sometimes you just,
oh gosh,
you guys are the best listeners. So.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to come up with something new for my next appointment.
Please do. Oh, for this, or you're just like, for your hair, or a story? I'm sure Robyn's got a lot of stories too. You've been around. I mean, you go.
Yeah, some funny stories.
I do not let my world go past me. I am out there living it up.
Exactly. And that's, you learn from your clients. Like, you've taught me there's so many different things you can do out there, like just, fun things. And that's, just experience. And that's too, like, where I am a workaholic, and she is like, she's like, you need to work less, but you know what I mean? Like,
you need a balance.
It's like, you got to go do stuff too. You got to learn the world too.
Yeah.
Because we do like to work, but at the same time, you got to have fun too.
I sometimes just need that like mental break. Because it does get overwhelming sometimes, you're, especially with, I would say a lot with COVID, everyone's been so stressed with COVID and all the craziness of 2020 wrapped together. It was just a big emotional roller coaster. So there's a lot of times that I'm just like, I'm mentally checked out by the weekend. I'm just like, I just need a quiet day to myself. Just like your anxiety just gets high, and and it's just like, we need to take time for ourselves. We take care of people 8 to 10 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. And it's like you get lost in taking care of everybody else that you want to get taken care of too. So it's like, I like to have my balance of a couple days off or a third day here and there. So yeah, she's the workaholic, and I'm like, no way, Jose. Yeah.
We're all different. Yeah. So
absolutely.
However you reset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to let our listeners know before we let you guys go?
If you're not happy with your stylist, tell them.
Yeah.
If you don't, like we say, give us 3 tries to get, like, say, a color right, because we need to learn your hair. We need to learn you. Like, and a lot of people will come and like, well, I was scared to tell her I didn't like something, don't be scared, and nobody's perfect. Like, we don't know. We're not perfect. We want to learn what you want. So I always tell people, like, give us a couple times, write down what you didn't like, and this is with your hair. Like, if you don't like our personality, you really can't change that. But who doesn't like us? I'm like, oh. But we hear that so often. Oh my God, my haircut was the worst.
From another
stylist. I've had clients tell me they hated my hair. Like they hated what I did to them. I was like, okay, tell me what I did wrong. Because I want to fix it. I want to make you, that's the thing. The biggest thing is we want to make you happy. We don't want to chop your hair off. We don't want to, like, that doesn't give us, we want to, whatever you want. We want to make you guys look good. Like, and I think that's sometimes people don't always tell their stylist.
Well, people get nervous because
Yeah,
they don't want
like-
to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the stylist wants your trust and wants to do bomb hair on you. And, if maybe they didn't get it quite right on the first try, just let them know, hey, it wasn't quite the color I wanted, or the cut was a little off. Can we change this or that? And I'm sure the stylist would be like, oh, absolutely. Like, let's do this. Because then it gives them the opportunity to prove themselves to you. So then you can be a long life client too. Because then otherwise, if you only do a client a couple of times and they leave and you're like, did I do something? I wish, you want to like fix it. You want to know. So.
There was one time where I totally biffed it. Malinda, you'll totally remember this. I could not, for some reason, I didn't schedule my next appointment. And I was going out of town for a business meeting, I think. And I couldn't get in with you. And I had to go to another salon, get my hair done. And I believe I came back to you within 2 to 3 weeks of having my hair cut. And you said, what did you do? And you said, wait a minute, who cut your hair? I totally blew it. And I missed scheduling the appointment, and you were so booked up. I couldn't get into you. And you just took one look at my hair and you knew you said to me, it's going to have to be a little bit shorter than we normally do. And I said, that's okay because
Right.
So,
and that's the thing. And the person could have been a great stylist that cut your hair, but the miscommunication sometimes, and that's why, if I have a complaint and I didn't do the best, I'm like, maybe the communication was wrong, or I didn't see what they said. And so if you'd bring us a picture, and we like to see what you're seeing sometimes, because people are afraid to bring pictures too, but we love pictures just to get, you may not be able to get that, but at least we can see what you see. Like we, color especially.
A big thing, rebook and pre-book. Like,
because you can always, at least have it on there. And if you need to change it, at least you're there, you know what I mean? And if you have to change it, something happens.
I did that. I made that mistake. That's why it took me 5 months to get my hair cut.
Yeah, exactly. I always tell clients, if you want on my schedule, you better rebook when you're here, or pre-book a couple months in advance, because things get tight here, and our schedules fill out, and we're very grateful for it. But
and then if somebody does cancel, and if you do want in, let us know too, because then somebody cancels. I mean, Robyn, you've had to cancel, a few days or whatever beforehand, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, something came up, and I was like, okay, so I'll just put the next person. And that's why I might be able to get you in. You just call, let us know. We'll put you on a list, or if you have to cancel, things happen. Like people have get sick, or they have to go somewhere, or work happens. We understand. But as long as you kind of let us, as long as you don't do it the same day, an hour beforehand.
and with COVID too, I'm sure that many of us, one of the reasons I had to cancel was because of COVID meeting on my calendar, and I could not get out of it. It was one of those things I couldn't get out of. But that I'm not leaving you, so you knew I was coming back at some point.
I don't know your friend; she gives you a hard time every time. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But you don't come that often. She thinks you come like every other week or something. So funny. But so.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you very, very much.
We appreciate you.
Like, this was so awesome.
First time we got to do something like that. So.
I know, and this is our first International Women's Day podcast. So thank you for the first one.
That's awesome.
We're very excited.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone listening. And till then, stay awesome.
And keep reaching for your anything.